Because you read it right off the sheet.
True patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
So this is easy for me.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome inside Scotiabank Center, located in beautiful downtown Halifax, Nova Scotia, for Halifax Hurricane basketball. I'm Vince Williams, and joining me this afternoon is my partner, Matt Elliott. The Canes come in this afternoon's game winner of 1, as their streak of 9 straight in the chase for 11 was broken on Thursday by the St. John Riptide. The Canes rebounded last night with a victory, 98-91, defeating the Central Division Windsor Express. A tight-knitted game, lots of shots, lots of excitement down the stretch, big plays by their big-time players, as Billy White ended with a double-double, 13 points and 12 rebounds. And another hot shooting night from Taquan Zimmerman, who knocked down 16 big points. He was 3 for 5 from long distance. So this afternoon, the Island Storm come in to this matchup losing 4 starters out with injury. It's a mountain to climb for Joe Salerno's Island Storm as they take on the defending champions, the Halifax Hurricanes, here at Scotiabank Center. A task that the Storm is, and I think, are going to be up for. If I'm a true believer in Coach Salerno's game plan and Coach Salerno's philosophy, it's the next man up, and the next man will get their opportunity.
Yeah, no doubt. Coach Salerno, he's a good coach. He's working with a skeleton crew today, and it's going to be a tale, really, of 2 totally different game plans, unlike the other 2 games. You got Halifax, who Coach Leslie, basically his MO is to use as many guys as possible and in order to keep the tempo up. Normally, the Storm can match that, but they won't be able to do it today, I don't think, with missing 4 of their starters. But we'll see how it goes.
It's definitely going to be a task for Joe Salerno today, managing minutes of all of his available players. And Billy White gets it started.
Good start.
Inside. And Billy White picking up where he left off last night as the top performer for the Hurricanes in that 98-91 victory. Jump shot there by Daquan Cook. So the starters this afternoon, brought to you by the 6-8 Realty Group. For the Storm, missing 4 starters, At the point guard position, number 1, Jahil Carson. Number 6, Daquan Cook in his second start of the season. Number 22, Wayne McCullough, his first start of the season. CJ knocks down a jumper. Number 15, Al Richter. And number 5, Ryan Christie, making his first start at the center position for Coach Salerno in the Storm. Knocked out of bounds by Billy. It will remain Storm possession. And for your championship Hurricanes, at small forward, number 1, Tyrone Watson. At the shooting guard, number 10, Mike Poole. At the point guard position, number 12, Cliff Clintscales. At the power forward position, number 23, the aforementioned Billy White. Nice pump fake, shots no good, rebound by Poole. And at the center position, number 20, C.J. Washington. And the officials this afternoon, Rick McKinnon, Justin Rocky, and the crew chief, Ryan Lutz.
So that last possession down there, Christie did a good job of getting Billy off his feet. Bailed him out, though, not being able to finish.
Jump shot short. Little too much English for CJ, and Carson races back the other way.
Ooh, that's a walk.
And Carson able to draw the foul on Clintscales, and Carson will go to the line to shoot too. Jahil Carson, a very nice point guard. 5'10" from Arizona State University, by the way, in Mesa, Arizona.
Yeah, he's all tempo. I wouldn't be surprised to see him start the next few possessions exactly what he did there, bringing it down court as fast as he can, getting into the paint, and either getting the finish or getting the harm. Remember, that's how we started off the last game these guys played. He was on fire to start out, and then they cooled down a little bit. So we'll see if that translates today.
And no doubt, Coach Salerno is going to lean a lot on Jahil Carson to create the offense going towards the basket and trying to break down his defensive opposition player.
Definitely. Got a guy as a former, all Pac-12 first team. Had a cup of coffee in the NBA there, played in the NBA Summer League for a few games with Houston. So he's got a good pedigree.
And he's done an outstanding job thus far this season for the Island Storm, leading them. So Clintscales swings it to Watson, looking for Billy. Billy coming off a double screen on the baseline. Billy with the blow-by dribble. Off the window, and Billy
finish,
off to a great start. Billy's 2 for 2. Same shot off the window there, Matt. That's one of those things that Billy, he's a natural left-handed player. It's going to be one of those things defensively. The Island Storm are going to have to run him off of that spot if they're going to be successful defensively this afternoon.
Yeah, and they're going to have a hard time with it, too, because they're going to have to lean on Christie and Daquan Cook for those bigs. No one else really matches up with them. But no sooner do I finish saying it there. Last time down, G. Carson, he brought into the paint. High tempo, he got fouled.
Yeah, Carson again slashing, being very aggressive in the early going here in this first quarter, looking to get the ball to the rim. And Carson knocks down both.
Roughly an 80% free throw shooter, so when he gets to the line, it's pretty reliable.
He's been very good this season, 19 points per game for the Island Storm. That's second on the team, followed behind Terry Thomas, who is not available this afternoon at 20. And Clintscales knocks down the triple. So a good start with the shooting stroke for Clintscales. He's been very consistent in the last few games, shooting that shot from beyond the arc.
Yeah, and that's great when you get that kind of production out of Cliff. Normally he's your assist guy. He's a guy running it down the court. He's a captain. But when you can get threes out of him, timely threes, that's just bonus.
And you mentioned he's been very good when it comes to the assist-to-turnover ratio. Clintscales amongst the league leaders in that department.
Leads the league. I think he's leading the league in assists per game, second overall in assists total. That's his game.
Poole now, pump fake inside the Watson, trying to back down Richter. Help coming late by Cook. Billy with the crossover move and
Great
inside.
Pass. Great pass.
Outstanding crossover move with the right hand as he was able to blow by Christie, and a beautiful pocket pass inside the CJ, and CJ makes no mistake with the finish off the window.
That's what you get when you get guys with high basketball IQs.
11-6 now, 8:32 left in the first quarter. Richter's shot's too strong. Rebound by Poole. Clintscales looking to run. Poole, pump fake, pull up inside the Watson. Beautiful pass, beautiful three-man game. Mike Poole giving up a good shot to get a better shot, and an unselfishness underneath the basket by Watson finds CJ on the back door.
Yeah, Watson, another high basketball IQ guy. He's great with that great vision underneath. That's at least 3 or 4 of those a game. And right now Billy and looks like Billy and Christie having words. Billy got teed up. I don't know if we missed it when they came back down there. He got hit. He crashed into that poor kid there, man, in the broom underneath the basket.
Okay.
So he wasn't too happy about that. Quite obviously, he gets teed up.
Yeah, Billy not happy with the physicality by Christie. Ryan Christie making his first start this afternoon for the Island Storm.
Going to make his presence known.
Christie, 6'7", power forward from Niagara University by the way of Hamilton, Ontario. And checking into the game now and going to the bench momentarily would be Billy White. Now Ronaldo checks in. Nice dish and drive to Cook on the backside as Carson once again getting in that painted area, drawing the double team. And a nice dish on the backside by DeJuan Cook. CJ shot from distance, no good. Rebound by McCullough.
And as a head coach, you got to love having a guy like Carson who's capable of ball handling, bringing the ball into the paint, because you know he's either going to get a nice shot or he's got a good opportunity for a dish.
And McCullough bangs down the 3.
Getting started quick in his first start.
Paying off dividends. McCullough forced into action in the starting role. Averaging just under 3 points per game for Salerno. Block shot in the rim, shots blocking underneath, gets a second chance back though.
Great finish.
And CJ makes no mistake on that one as Christie was able to block the first one.
A great job on the offensive glass by the Canes there, especially Watson.
Canes with beautiful ball movement in their last few half-court sets down here. And they've been very successful with the unselfish basketball with that ball movement, man.
Yeah. And it's led them to already, they've got 6 points in the paint. 8 points in the paint. All off beautiful passes.
Let's take a look at the replay there. Look at the contact coming late from behind. As Christie was able to position himself between 2 Hurricanes. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. Ryan Christie on the season from the free throw line. He's shooting. This is looks like his first time. And 69%, just under 70% from the free throw line. Is he unable to make both? Makes one. It's a 2-point game now.
Christie had a solid game against the Canes last time they were here.
He definitely did.
He only averages 3.5 points a game, but the last time he was here was probably one of his better games of the season, statistically.
And Mike Poole bangs down a triple. So that's good to see Mike Poole off to a good start. The silky smooth shooter. Poole, small forward from Iona University from Queens, New York.
Yeah, when he gets hot, man, you're in trouble.
Canes looking to get in the open floor. Watson beats McCullough down the floor and was able to draw the contact by McCullough, and Watson will go to the line to shoot 2.
McCullough didn't like the call, but when you leave your feet, more often than not, it's going to go against you. And looking to come in now, we got Brad States.
Bradley
UPEI
States,
member.
a Canadian. States,
hometown guy.
6'7", small forward from Bathurst, New Brunswick. And Watson knocks down the first.
He's only logged 18 minutes total so far this in the 6 games that he's played, but another guy that can play ball. He was an AUS All-Star 2015-2016, had some pretty good averages too.
Yeah, he is no joke.
This is the first time we've seen him in Halifax, so we'll see what he can do. But again, another guy that's going to get pressed into action, get a lot of minutes because of those injuries.
4 starters out this afternoon for Coach Salerno. That another triple back-to-back for McCullough. As he's making this move look easy for Salerno. He's got 6 on the afternoon. Terry Thomas inactive this afternoon. Tyrell Baines inactive, as well as Nick O'Corey inactive for the Island Storm. So a tough task for the Storm coming in here and trying to beat the defending champions. Off to a tremendous start at 10-1 on the season. Media timeout on the floor. It's a 4-point lead, 20-16 for the Hurricanes. Canes getting a lot of things done offensively. Defensively, a little bit of a breakdown trying to keep Jaheel Carson out of that painted area, Matt.
Yeah, and so far they really haven't, in the few games we've seen him play, they haven't had a solid answer for him. More or less just wait for him to get tired, because that's what he does. He's going to bring it down until he wears out. And personally, I'm actually a little bit surprised. I expected Coach Leslie to come out with a little bit higher of a tempo of an offense, knowing that they were so short-staffed on the other side of the court. However, he may be playing a long game with this one. He's got a full game of
coming off a back-to-back
yeah.
last night, and he usually plays a full complement of 10 to 12 players with his game management. Coach Leslie has done an outstanding job all season in that way, and using everybody on his bench in those reserves. And just taking a look forward here at the upcoming schedule, a 4-game road trip after this afternoon's basketball game. The Hurricanes will go on the road. It's going to be tough sledding. Next Thursday, they'll visit the Island Storm at the Eastlink Center. And then Saturday and Sunday, they'll tip off at Harbor Station versus the St. John Riptide in a very, very tough matchup against Coach Spahn's St. John Riptide, who got it done here last Thursday, breaking up that streak. And then the following Thursday, they'll return to Charlottetown to take on the Island Storm at the Eastlink Center, just before returning home on the Friday night, February 10th, versus the Cape Breton Highlanders. And then February 11th, they'll take on the Moncton Miracles, and they'll head out on the road the following week for the very tough Central Division swing. So some very tough ball games coming up on that schedule, and there's a few ball games this afternoon in the out-of-town scoreboard as well, Matt.
Yeah, we on top of this game, the Cape Breton Highlanders are taking on the Windsor Express. That's going to start at 3 o'clock. Niagara River Lions taking on the London Lightning, and Orangeville A's will take on the Kitchener Waterloo squad. None of those games have started yet. Still waiting for the Niagara and London game. That was the other 2 o'clock game, but no score from that one yet. We'll keep updating as we get those.
As Watson able to get that pocket pass and teardrop in the lane to go. So a very nice offensive set coming out of that timeout by the Hurricanes. McCullough, pump fake. Teardrop's no good, and Ronaldo fights with Christie. And it's last touch by Ronaldo, and it will remain Island Storm possession.
Tell you what, McCullough's taking every opportunity that he's got here for this with his first start.
Well, it's kind of an audition for these guys to show Coach Salerno exactly what they can do and what they can bring. It's early in the season. It's an opportunity for some of the reserves that usually don't get an opportunity to get some quality minutes. So it's their opportunity right now to show the coaching staff that they can be dependent upon in tough situations.
That's right. And so far, they're looking pretty good. They're only down 6 against a really good Halifax team.
As Antoine Mason, who's checked into the game for the first time for the Canes, gets fouled going towards the rim. As Al Stewart jumps off the bench, and he'll come in for Richter. So the veteran, Al Stewart, number 10, now in for the Storm.
Yeah, Al's been around for a while.
Shot clock dwindling. Clint Scales got to go. Swings it to Mason. Mason fires from 3. Shot short, rebound by Carson. Carson racing back the other way in transition, and he's fouled by Mike Poole. As Joey Haywood will make his first appearance on the afternoon for the Canes, and Clint Scales will go to the bench.
Yeah, it's a great guy to have guarding J. Carson's Joey Haywood.
Can match that speed.
Oh, man.
Interesting matchup. It's going to be a very good matchup to see Joey Haywood defend Carson.
Couple matchups out there. Like you see, States has got to try to handle Tyrone Watson down the other end. See how that goes.
Nice crossover by Stewart. Gives it to McCullough. McCullough with the blow-by on Mason, and he draws the contact, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. No hesitation off of that swing pass by Wayne McCullough.
No.
Continue to be very aggressive offensively this afternoon.
Yeah, he is. And he's a good player. The few minutes that he's got when he has come in the games against Halifax, he's hit some pretty decent shots. He's a guy that's got a good stroke, as you can see there. But like I said, man, like you said, this is his audition. He's going to make every bit of it.
McCullough, 75% free throw shooter on the season. He knocks down both. So McCullough with 8 points on the afternoon. He is the high man for the Island Storm. Say creep back 22-18. Haywood lost the handle. Stewart now in transition to Christie, and Stewart barrels inside.
Awesome take.
Right into the chest of Tyrone Watson. Outstanding defensive play by Watson into transition. Negating, that transition run by the Island Storm, and Stewart didn't put the brakes on, as you can see in the replay. Watson was waiting for him outside of that restricted area.
That's the kind of stuff you get from a guy like Watson. You get blue collar, man. He's a good worker.
You called him who? What was the nickname were you trying to give him?
The Junkyard Dog.
JYD in the house. Bull shot no good. Rebound by Christie. And the speedster, Stewart, racing down the court. Was cut off by Haywood. Haywood, a good defensive play there. McCullough, pump fake, blow by, step back. Inside the States. States going after Ronaldo. His shot's rejected at the rim. And that's what type of rim protection you see from Ronaldo Dixon.
Great rim protector. He's got those long arms. Oof.
Watson turns it over. Stewart back the other way, and Stewart gets it to go and count it for Al Stewart in transition. And Joey Haywood in disbelief of that call as Al Stewart being very aggressive in transition, and since he's got into the game, he's been looking to get into the open floor on every opportunity, man.
Yeah, he's shown a lot of energy today too. Not that he doesn't normally, but you know, you got a guy who's a former two-time defensive player of the year. That's normally what you're looking for out of Stewart. Not a huge scoring guy, but he's been real aggressive right now.
And he's definitely has no choice this afternoon to look a little bit more for his offense, as Stewart unable to complete the three-point play.
Yeah, definitely. You can't rely on Carson to be taking the ball to the rack every time. You could retire pretty quick.
Stewart, a 65% free throw shooter on the season. Haywood, the shoes inside, knocks down the jump shot. Joey Haywood knocks down his second field goal of the season, as he was able to get his first last night versus the Windsor Express. Good tip back there by Bradley States. So States records his first 2 points here as a professional at Scotiabank.
Yeah, nice tip in. He followed the shot.
Ronaldo bangs down a three, and we have a blocking foul on the floor as Joey Haywood was looking for a stoppage of play as his shoelace was untied. As I mentioned on the previous trip down, he was able to hit that baseline jumper with only one shoe tied up.
And not only that, but he created a lot of space for himself.
It didn't slow him down at all, did it?
No.
As you can see in this replay here, he's able to knock it down with one shoelace. Outstanding play there by Haywood, his second field goal on the season. And if Haywood can get going for Leslie, that's another element in that reserve role that, you know, just keeps coming in droves.
Yeah, it seems it's almost limitless, the guys he can choose from off the bench to improve and kind of formulate a good 5 guys on the court, the way they match. Look at yesterday's game. After the first half, 11 of the 12 guys on the Halifax bench had scored at least 2 points, and that's the first half. You know,
it's outstanding offensive efficiency as Carson was able to knock down both. And it's a 3-point lead, 1 possession game, 27-24. Mason with 2 personals now, as he was called for that personal underneath the rim. Hurricanes are in the penalty. Two-man game now between Watson and Haywood. Ronaldo can't beat the shot clock. So good defensive possession by the Storm.
And it was a good look. I think he made the right pass, but Daquan Cook was able to get his hand in there, slow it down just enough to they weren't able to get that shot off.
Just over 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Island Storm trying to tie this game up or get within 1. Cook, the States baseline. Back to Cook. Cook turns it over, and the Canes have numbers in transition. Mason, step through, can't get it to go, but the putback's there.
The JYD.
Watson running rim to rim, able to get that putback to go. Richter gets stopped in his tracks. He hands it off to Carson. Carson thought about it. Closely guarded by Mason. Rises, fires, shots too strong. Rebound by Haywood. Haywood racing back the other way. Crossover. This is to Mason. Mason pull up. Bang! Splash by Mason.
For 2.
Nice hesitation, dribble, and crossover and pull up by Mason. And he knocks that jumper down. 31-24 now for the Canes. Stewart. Double team comes. State's thought about it. Now the 2-man game between Carson and Cook. Cook, too many steps, and he's called for the travel. So the good idea of that 2-man game, just poor execution by the way of Cook with the travel.
He just couldn't haul it in, took too many steps.
You can see in the replay there, the step through no good, and the put back in great positioning by the Junkyard Dog. This pull-up jumper there by Mason. So great offensive sequence for the Canes. Fires and jump shot on the baseline.
Did he ever get a good screen?
Taekwon Cook didn't waste any time checking into the game. He's able to get that shot to go coming off of that screen, as you mentioned. 33-24. Just under 30 seconds in the first quarter. States fires from 3. The shot short, rebound by Haywood. Haywood looking to run in the open floor. Haywood, pull up, crossover, dishes it, and Taekwon Zimmerman will pull it out for the last shot. Shot clock and game clock just about dead even. Cook now, off the screen, fires from 3. Shot's too strong. Haywood thought about it. Jumper, bang, at the buzzer. Joey Haywood, and he's trying to get
Halifax's
the fans on
own.
his feet. Haywood, 2 for 2 since entering the game, and a very nice offensive start for Joey Haywood as he knocks down his second jumper to beat the buzzer.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you want out of Joey. If you get a guy like Joey start hitting his shots and the tempo that he can bring you and the defense that he's going to bring you on the other end, especially teeing up a guy like Jaheed Carson, as a coach, you're laughing.
So the Canes go into the break between the first and second quarter after 12 minutes lead, 35-24. Outstanding contributions by a number of players off this Hurricanes squad. Leading the way is C.J. Washington with 8 points. Canes shot a blazing 65% from the field, and they were 42% from downtown, 3 of 7, Matt.
Yeah, they're looking really good so far shooting. Even the free throws at 100%. And now, mind you, they've only taken 2. But look at the, they've got 4 offensive rebounds already. 11 points off the bench, 12 in the paint. And that's how Halifax wins. They grind you in the paint, and they rely on their bench.
And they're getting some timely shooting from beyond the arc, as they were able to knock down 3 of those triples. So balanced offensive output in that first 12 minutes. But on the other side, 24 points for the short bench of the Island Storm. Jahlil Carson leading the way with 7 points. All 7 points coming from the free throw line. As Wayne McCullough, with 8, he's able to knock down 2 triples, and he's 2 for 3 from field goal range. So if you're Coach Salerno, you're going into the second half of the first 24, being down 11 points. What would be the message to your team at this point?
Well, if they haven't played that bad. I mean, given what they've got on the bench,
Yeah, what's available?
It was pretty close up until about the last 3 or 4 minutes of this quarter. If I'm him, I'm saying stick with it. I would kind of implore Jaheed Carson not to gas himself too early, especially where it's only first quarter. Just finished the first quarter right now.
And you mentioned, how Coach Leslie likes to game manage his minutes for his players, and it's that second wave, and it's always been that second wave since the very first game. Those reserves, they hit you, and they hit you with a punch where you're staggered. It's either a body blow or it's a punch to the head, where these guys put up some great offensive efficiency. We're talking about 14 and 15 points respectively out of Zimmerman and Mason coming off the bench.
Yeah, and it's not uncommon for Halifax's leading scorer in a game to be a bench guy.
And it's been that way several times this season. as Cook unable to get the floater to go in the ring. Coming back the other way is Washington, and he's able to save it momentarily.
Smart play.
And throw it off the foot of Richter, and it will remain Hurricanes possession. 19 seconds on the shot clock as Haywood will inbound it.
Coach Salerno didn't think that went out.
Not happy at all. Not happy at all. Total disagreements. So Haywood looking for a screen from CJ. Haywood draws the double team. And that's knocked out of bounds by Stewart, and it will remain Canes possession. 10 seconds now on the shot clock as Haywood will inbound it on the side. Hurricanes leading early going in the second quarter here, 35-24. Vince Williams, Matt Elliott on the call here at Scotiabank. CJ fires, shots too strong, rebound by Stewart. Stewart races back the other way, thought about it, trying to take advantage of the numbers, pulls it out. Cook going down the lane, and he's rejected at the rim by Anthony Cox. And last touch by Cook. As Wayne McCullough will check back, and Jaheel Carson will go to the bench for the first time.
So who's he going to draw now? Looks like he's drawing Zimmerman on McCullough's. Be interesting to see how that matchup plays out.
It's going to be a very tough afternoon for McCullough defensively because he's got to guard one of the three-headed monsters out there that have all got great speed and skill, and get it done going towards the basket or fire it from distance.
Yeah, and it's guys you can't give him space. He's going to have to play those guys tight all game.
And Ryan Christie knocks down the jumper. And the lead still at 11 as teams traded baskets in previous possessions. Mason wanted to throw it inside, but Christie comes up with an outstanding defensive play and forces the turnover.
Lost the handle. He's looking for the foul, not going to get it.
Haywood in transition, looked for the contact, is rejected at the rim, but CJ runs down the loose ball, and that's the difference sometimes in winning and losing. The battle of those 50-50 balls, and CJ was able to beat two Storm players to get that possession.
Yeah, Jurors, we've seen more than a few games here in Halifax where it's come down to those second chance points and running down those loose balls.
Storm with 3 turnovers on the afternoon, and the Canes committed 4 now. Shot's no good. Last touch by Richter, and it will remain Canes possession. Richter not happy as he's staring down Justin Rocky, one of the officials here this afternoon. As looks like Coach Leslie hit the deck too on that possession, either trying to save it, but I think he got hit actually. He looks like he's a little woozy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happened as we were looking at. I was looking at the expression from Al Richter, and I guess Richter must have been staring down to see what happened. Ensued as the ball went out of bounds here at the table.
Yeah, I missed it too.
So
once we get an update,
we're going to have to get a report on. Usually we get reports on players, but now we got to check on the coach and count it. And an offensive foul there as CJ barrels into the chest of Christie. As Christie was able to get great defensive position, and draw that charging call.
Christie's a good basketball player, off to a bit of a slow start. I think they expect a little bit more from him. You get a guy that's former D2 tourney MVP. He's a good ball player. Just off to a bit of a slow start, but if he gets on fire, especially when he starts shooting, that's a guy that can really do some damage. Wow, nice take.
Oh, beautiful take, and almost a two-handed finish on CJ as a miscommunication, but it was all on the strength of the dribble drive by Wayne McCullough.
Yes. Squeezed himself in between 2 defenders.
Wow, McCullough showing his skills with those ball handling skills. I mean, early in the game, he was able to knock down 2 straight triples, but now he's showing his ball handling skills, getting into that painted area, drawing the double team, and drawing the late help, and able to distribute the basketball to the wide open man.
He's making a strong case for more minutes with the rest of the season going forward, I'll tell you that.
Christie able to knock down Cook able to knock down 1 of 2. And cuts the lead to 10 as Watson comes back.
Joey and CJ will take a seat.
And Kenny Otino will check into the game for the very first time. So 10-point lead.
Played his ball at University of Edmonton.
Just under 10 minutes left in the second quarter. Canes continuing the lead. Otino, jump shot's good, and Otino wastes no time getting on the score sheet. Comes off a very nice screen on the baseline, and Otino with a very confident stroke man.
Yeah, he's a great player, and he was the one guy last night who didn't get onto the score sheet. I'm not even sure he made it into the game, so he's making sure that he's getting his due today as soon as he gets his minutes.
And Richter comes back the other way for the Storm, and teams trade baskets. Were still a 10-point deficit by the Storm. Cook, jump shot's too strong, rebound, kicked around, and it's picked up by Cook. Cook now. Richter is yelling for the ball on the backside here, looking for that swing pass. Thought about firing it from distance. Cook faces up.
Great hands.
Cox knocks it away. Good defensive play there by Anthony Cox. But outstanding hustle on the loose ball for Ryan Christie. A tie-up between him and Mason. And the possession arrow will favor the Canes. Coach Salerno wants a foul on that play, as he's having a quick conversation with Mike McKinnon. Zimmerman now swings it. Mason thought about it, but he stepped on the sideline, and that'll be turnover number 7 on the afternoon for the Canes. So the turnover starting to play a factor into this storyline, creeping up here on number 7.
Yeah, and it's been a storyline throughout the season for a lot of the teams, to be honest with you. But you know, definitely the Canes, they're able to make up for it, obviously, in other ways. But Coach Leslie, as a coach, you never want to see any more than, you never want to get into double-digit turnovers in the game if you can.
Absolutely not. Shot's no good at the rim. Oh! And Anthony Cox with the pump fake, and Christie totally committed to the block shot. Went under Cox. And Christie braced himself, and we hope that he's okay right now, and he seems to be okay, as he's not calling for the medical staff, and hope that both men are okay, as there was a major collision underneath the basket. Anthony Cox will go to the line to shoot 2.
Kareem Canty into the game now for Antoine Mason.
Canty, a very nice looking point guard, as Cox misses the first from Auburn University. 2 Auburn alums here on the floor at Scotiabank, suited up for the Canes. And Antoine Mason, they were teammates for the Eagles.
Yeah, he's been, you know.
Excuse me, the Tigers.
He's been a great looking guard so far. He's put in some good minutes.
Christie gets it to go. I was thinking War Eagle there.
War Eagle, Roll Tide War Eagle.
Exactly. To all the fans out there that know college football, huge rivalry between the two SEC powerhouses.
Oh, yeah.
And a fadeaway jump shot on the baseline there by Taquan Zimmerman. Still 11-point lead, 42-31. 7 minutes to go. McCullough fires, bang, and he knocks down another 3. He's 3 for 3 on the afternoon. The hot shooting continuing for Wayne McCullough.
He's the high man. That's 11 for him, I believe. So he's a high man for the Storm right now.
Otino tries his hand at 3. He doesn't get it. Short. Richter back the other way on Otino. Draws the contact. And he'll go to the line to shoot 2. As Brad States checks back in along with Jaheel Carson for the Storm. Stewart and Christie will go to the bench.
On a side note, Coach Leslie's back up and about. Still don't know what happened over there, but he's upstanding and
we're going to have to get a halftime position. We're going to have to get a halftime report from the medical staff of the Canes.
Yeah, for sure.
That's good to see that Coach Leslie's okay. No worse for wears. As Richter knocks down the first. And he rattles home the second.
Canty's going to run the point.
42-36. Just under 7 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Zimmerman fires for 3. Shot short, rebound, second chance
lucky.
opportunity. Another
Yes,
three,
sir.
and bang! He doesn't make mistake on the second as Zimmerman knocks down the triple.
It's got to be a matchup nightmare for the opposing coaches with guys like Zimmerman, Mason, Haywood. You get guys that can shoot like that, and then of course you're underneath guys, your Watsons and your Billies. How do you match up with guys like that? Any one of them can draw 20 on you in a game.
It's definitely a tough task coming into the game planning for this game.
Great team.
Reserves. Good steal there in that defensive possession. Otino drawing the contact, can't get it to go, but the follow-up is there. That is the 8th offensive rebound on the afternoon for the Canes as Cox gets the follow-up.
Yeah, Halifax crashing the boards well tonight. And a charge called on Carson.
Collision there as Kenny Otino did an outstanding job of moving his feet and stepping in front of the speedy Jaheel Carson. Carson picks up the charging call. So not only you get the offense from Zimmerman as well as Mason, and along with Canty, now you got the defensive presence by Kenny Otino that sometimes can score at the rim and knock down the odd jump shot. So what do you do? What do you do if you're the opposition and you're the coach and you're trying to game plan for something like this?
Yeah, it's difficult. And you got to love a guy like Otino. Doesn't play a lot of minutes, but when he does play, he's a guy that doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, you get quality minutes. Doesn't turn it over, as you mentioned, much, and he usually makes the right decision offensively. And in that last trip down defensively, with an outstanding job of stepping in the lane. So fans out there, stay engaged with your Hurricanes for all their social media outlets. Their website at halifaxhurricanes.ca. Their Twitter, Instagram handle at HFX Hurricanes. Their Facebook at Halifax Hurricanes. And don't forget to follow everything NBLC. Their website, nblcanada.ca. Twitter handle at NBL Canada. And their Facebook page at NBL Canada, where you'll find compelling stories, transactions, anything you need when it comes to the league. These are the handles that you need to go to in regards to the Halifax Hurricanes and all 10 teams in the National Basketball League of Canada on their social media handles.
Yep, and for any of you that want to kind of follow, if you can't watch the live feed of the games, but you want to follow the stats and the box scores, you can check it over right on the NBL Canada website and the stats and scores. Click on the W beside the games as they're being played, and you'll be able to keep yourself up to date on the game. It refreshes itself every 30 seconds or so.
So coming out of the timeout, the media timeout, the Canes continuing the lead, 9-point lead, 47-38. For the Canes, we have Otino, Canty, Watson, Zimmerman, and Cox. For the Storm, Carson, States, Cook, and Richter. And checking in for the first time for Coach Salerno is number 3, I do believe, is Dimitri Harris, small forward from St. Mary's University by way of Vancouver, British Columbia. So another Canadian getting his opportunity for the first time as a professional here at Scotiabank. And Zimmerman turns it over. Carson in the transition and finish at the rim through the contact by looks of it, and they count it as Carson able to race out on that run out off that Zimmerman turnover. Yeah. Able to draw the contact, Matt, and finish at the rim and give himself an opportunity to complete the three-point play.
Yeah, and it was a great finish by him. Canty thought he got all ball, but ref didn't agree.
Carson completes the three-point play. So Carson with his first field goal on the afternoon after being thus far perfect from the charity stripe. He has 10 now.
Nice shot by Canty. He's got a nice stroke.
Canty knocks down the triple, coming right back after Carson completed the three-point play the old-fashioned way. Harris now thought about it. Dishes to Richter, but it's knocked away with the quick hands of Otino. Canes have numbers. Cox in transition, barrels inside the paint, drew the contact, couldn't get the foul. Cox again with the left hand, no good. And he commits the reach-in foul on Carson. So the Storm dodging bullets all over the place. And now we're in double-digit figures, offensive rebounds for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, they're doing a great board on the offensive, or excuse me, doing a great job on the offensive boards tonight.
And that Canty stroke there in that replay, as you mentioned, very nice looking point guard is Kareem Canty. Yeah, it's a tough task now trying to stay in front of Carson. Cook with the left hand, it's deflected away there by Cox. And racing back the other way in transition is Zimmerman. This is the Canty. Canty rises for three, bang, and that's back-to-back triples for Kareem Canty. Outstanding patience in transition and court awareness by Taquan Zimmerman.
Yeah, excellent. He got into the top of the key there, was able to draw a couple defenders, kicked it out, and then they saw Canty. He did the rest.
Canty had no hesitation in rising and banging down that triple. As Richter was able to draw the contact, and he'll go to the line to shoot two, and Daquan Cook will go to the bench for the Storm, and checking back is Ryan Christie. Richter knocks down the first. Al Richter, perfect from the charity stripe thus far. 1 for 2 from the field. And he makes it perfect again. 6 points on the afternoon now for Richter.
Storm got a couple of former CIS players on the floor with Harris and Brad States. Oh,
Bang,
man, is he feeling it today.
And that forces Coach Salerno into a timeout. Kareem Canty.
No answer for Canty.
Making his presence known as he sparks an eruption from the Scotiabank faithful. Forces Coach Salerno into a timeout. Their biggest lead on the afternoon, 13, 56-43, as Canty has 9 points on the afternoon now. Perfect from beyond the arc.
Yeah, he's been deadly, and he's hit three within the last couple minutes here. That prompted the timeout to be called by Salerno. They had got to within about, I think they were within 9 points. Looked like they were going to make a game of it closing out, but then Canty just caught fire, and they're now back up 13 points.
Some deadly shooting from beyond the arc. 50%, 7 for 14 are the Canes this afternoon thus far. 56 from the field. They are lighting it up in this first 24 minutes.
And it gets back to what we were talking about. Like, what do you do with a guy like Kareem Canty? You know, as a coach, you're figuring, okay, I got Mason, I got Zimmerman, I got to lock these guys down. I got to lock down Billy underneath. Then you get a guy like Kareem Canty who averages less than 20 minutes a game so far since joining the team. You probably don't game plan for him too much, and he comes out and he drops three on you just like that. That's got to be frustrating.
With no hesitation, he's been very good at knocking down big shots in timely situations.
I'm excited to see what he will be contributing at the end of the season or into playoffs. What kind of player he develops into, or what kind of team member he develops into, I should say. Already clearly an accomplished player.
So some major adjustments being needed right now by the Island Storm as Coach Salerno looking for some answers. 13-point deficit here, forced into the timeout by that electric three ball by Kareem Canty. As Carson will now cross the timeline for the Storm. Looking to play the two-man game between him and Christie. Collinell swings at the States with the blow-by in the paint. Shots a little short. Rebound by Christie. Christie with the second chance, and that's rejected at the rim by JYD. But Richter, following up that third opportunity coming off of that block, was able to finish the play in the possession. So a good possession coming out of that timeout for the Storm.
Yeah, and a good job by Richter making turning nothing into something there.
Richter's got 8 on the afternoon. Tough shot forced by Canty. Rebound by Cox. He can't get the shot to go. Good defensive play and rim protection by Christie. Carson. Jumper. Short. Rebound by Christie. He gets it deflected away. And Zimmerman now will come back the other way for the Canes. Canty, crossover.
He's trying to do it all.
And he catches all the rim, a little bit of the backboard And that rattles home, and he has 8 on the afternoon for Kareem Canty, continuing his hot start. Richter, spin move, left hand, and goes. Nice move there by Richter. Good individual play as he was able to take Watson inside the paint, and Richter's got 10. Both teams trading baskets. Canty fires again for 3. That shot short as McCullough closed out. Might have got a hand up in the way. As Watson hits the deck after it looks like States caught him with that left elbow.
As you see here.
You can see there, a little bit of an embellishment there though, but
hey, it works.
Nevertheless, we've seen worse in the world of sports.
Way worse.
As Watson will go to the bench, the JYD. It's a good applause from the Scotiabank faithful as Ronaldo checks back for the Canes.
Tell you, Watson put on a defensive clinic yesterday in yesterday's game. He was great under the basket. His hands were all over the place.
And he had to take on the 6'9", 300+ pounds, DeAndre Thomas.
That's right.
Thomas had a pretty good offensive game, but it was definitely a war between him and Watson underneath the basket.
Yep, got chippy.
On every single possession.
2 tough players.
Inbound is deflected away momentarily. Corralled by Zimmerman. He has to hurry. Shot clock's dwindling. And at the buzzer, he can't get it to go. Shot clock violation. So good defensive possession for the Storm. Just under 2 minutes now. They only trail by 11.
Good job of McCullough not to leave his feet. I think Zimmerman was hoping he'd get him off his feet and get the 3 free throws. McCullough stood up.
58-47. Stewart playing the 2-man game between him and Christie. Pick and roll. Christie trying to back down Ronaldo. Ronaldo lost his footing there as the strength showed up on that possession between him and Christie.
Yeah, Christie's a strong player underneath.
Christie, the bigger man when it comes to weight, was able to push Ronaldo underneath the basket as he lost his footing. So good offensive possession for the Storm in that trip. Zimmerman trying to take advantage of Richter. Canty now, shot clock dwindling again. Altino's got to go. Altino forces a shot, hits the rim, but they call shot clock violation regardless. It looked like it might have hit the bottom of the rim.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised Coach Leslie didn't get off the bench and talk about that one, but nevertheless, it'll be Storm possession and a timeout on the floor as we got a 9-point lead. Storm battling back after that timeout after Canty's 3.
They're showing a lot of resilience.
They've been able to cut into this lead. Not a huge difference, but positive nevertheless. It's better to be down single digits than double digits going into the halftime break.
That's right, and they're keeping themselves in the game. And I think this is probably a well-timed and a smart timeout by Coach Salerno. He's got an opportunity now to draw something up nice to get them, even closer, even further into the game before the end of the half, which is what you want to do. You want to close out on a high note.
So 58-49. Hurricanes pretty much have led all the way.
They started out as far as the beginning, the first quarter, had a lot of points in the paint. Now looking at the stats here, Halifax only has 14 of their 58 points in the paint so far this game, which is uncharacteristic of them. As you can see, the bench scoring is 34, so that's right in and around what they normally do. But haven't been going down low a lot to Cox or to Watson or to Billy. It's been a lot of the perimeter game today for the Hurricanes.
As you mentioned, the Canes off to a very hot start, a blazing start, shooting the rock from beyond the arc at 43%, 7 for 16. Still at the high, 50% from the field. At one point, it was 60 after the first 12 minutes. So the Storm looking to cut the lead here. Richter, jump shot. Shot short. Good closeout there by Anthony Cox. And an empty trip for the Storm coming out of the timeout. Canty holding. just under a minute here. Shot clock dwindling again. Otino, and it's knocked off of him. And another turnover. That'd be turnover number 10 on the afternoon for the Canes, as Christie did an outstanding job of getting his hand in the passing lane.
That's the second time he's done that today. He plays the passing lanes well. He's got that long body, right?
Guarding Otino away from the rim, the bigger man, Christie. McCullough thought about the blow by. A lot of contact between him and Otino.
Nothing called.
Shot's no good there as McCullough unable to.
I think it's a good no call by the refs. I think McCullough instigated as much of that contact as he got from Otino.
Canty will hold for the last shot here. A difference of 3 seconds between the game clock and the shot clock. Canty swings it to Zimmerman. Zimmerman rises, contact, and almost gets the floater to go. As he'll go to the line to shoot two. Much to the dismay of Coach Salerno and Al Stewart. They are not happy about that personal foul with the shot clock dying with a difference of 4 seconds. 4.2 seconds left in the game as Zimmerman unable to capitalize off of that free throw. Salerno continue to have the conversation with McKinnon, one of the officials this afternoon. Is an empty trip and uncharacteristic. 2 misses on the free throw line and a fired shot off the backboard. As McCullough try to beat the game clock there and send the Storm to the halftime break on a high note. But it's got to be high because at one point they were down 13 points and things looked like they were about to be unraveled there, Matt.
Yep.
A good timeout call by Salerno, right at the ship, and now we got a 9-point lead going into the halftime break. So a positive nevertheless for the Storm.
Yeah, and what's keeping the Storm in this game, if you look, it's the free throws. The Storm have hit 16 of 19 free throws compared to Halifax hitting only 3 of 6. When you're getting 16 basically free points like that,
you're being very
you're going to allow
aggressive.
yourself to stay in the game despite what you have on the bench or what you don't have on the bench.
Being very aggressive are the Storm attacking the rim. So we're going to step aside, folks. After 24 minutes, the Halifax Hurricanes lead the Island Storm 58-49. You're watching Halifax Hurricanes basketball here on their YouTube Halifax Hurricanes channel.
now. But other than that, everyone is up above the 7-minute mark with Taquan Zimmerman to 15 and Ronaldo and Anthony with 10 and 12 respectively.
So we're just about to start the third quarter here at Scotiabank Center, and joining me now for a quick chat and an update on everything NBLC is the one and only, the commissioner of the National Basketball League of Canada, David Magley. Commissioner, good afternoon and welcome to the booth.
Thanks, Vince. I didn't mean to kick a real professional out.
No, we're all set. We're good. We're going to have a quick chat to get an update on what's going on around the league of the National Basketball League of Canada.
A lot of good stuff, my friend. I'm happy to see the crowds building here. Cape Breton's crowds have been fantastic. PEI's having a record year. Moncton's it's solid. St. John's numbers are picking up. So this division, which is so paramount to our success, is just being solidified this year. I really believe that. The ownership group here in Halifax is really figuring out how to do this, and they're doing a nice job. Again, Duncan leads us out here in PEI, but there's a lot of cool things going on in every market right now. I love what St. John's doing. I'm getting to watch their first game for the first time on Friday, and I can't wait to see it because I think they've done some nice things. And like I said, I went to Cape Breton's first game. They had 3,200 people, so I've been really impressed with what this division is doing.
Year number 6 for the National Basketball League of Canada. Give us an assessment on how far this league has gone since year number 1.
Well, I think year number 1 through 5 kind of grew organically, right? 1 through 4, and then Game 7 happened, and we had to give a concerted effort on how to build. With that came, a lot of restructuring in some ownership groups to get some stronger local folks involved, and that's helped. We got 2 new teams this year, which has been great, and there's some real nice expansion on the horizon that could have significant impact on what we're trying to do.
And a turnover to start the third quarter by the Hurricanes. Miscommunication between Canty and Antoine Mason. Canes starting in the second half with Canty as Carson knocks down the deep deuce there. Nice jump shot to start the half for the Storm, and Carson picking up where he left off. So for the Canes, it's Mason, Dixon, Cox, Zimmerman, and Canty. For the Storm, Carson, Richter, McCullough, Cook, and Christie, the starting lineup that started this ball game. Ronaldo now.
I'll tell you, for them to not have 4 of their key players.
Yeah, we spoke about it several times.
Only be down 7 and not play real well. That's a testament to how good a coach Joe is. I mean, he just knows how to make adjustments, and he's been around a long time. That's why he's has the most wins of any coach in our league history.
And we spoke about it on the broadcast several times. It's kind of like as Carson gets it to go, it's kind of like an audition for some of these bench players to show Salerno exactly what they have, meaning that if they ever need to be accounted for or called upon down the stretch, that they can be accounted for and they can actually go in there and get the job done.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm certain in Coach Salerno's heart, he wants to win, but he also knows, if there's ever a chance and a reason why I wouldn't win, it's right now. Let me see what I could do, and let's get creative with the smaller lineup. Let's do what we have to do, and what happens if we clear it out and the guys keep playing hard and they're competing. I mean, I think it's a nice game so far for them.
Zimmerman knocks down a shot from 3 on the last possession down. There's an empty trip for the Storm. Coming back the other way for the Canes, checking back in. So it looks like Canty's hurt is Joey Haywood.
Is this the most minutes Joey's played since he's been back?
This is definitely the most minutes thus far for Haywood. Haywood off to a good start in that first 24.
He sure was.
Knocked down a couple jumpers. One of them was with his shoe untied. So Haywood showing improvement as every game goes by. A late transaction for the Halifax Hurricanes. A fan favorite from St. Mary's University by way of Vancouver, British Columbia.
Yeah, he's such a high quality person. I think our league is benefited by having Joey back, and anytime you can get a young man come back that represents his province, his school, his country the way Joey does, we're really fortunate to have that.
And just about every team, all 10 teams have a storyline, a compelling story with a Canadian or two on their squad?
Oh my goodness, we've got some wonderful Canadian talent in our league this year, and that's only growing. I mean, this year we have 4 Canadian coaches, and you think about it, the top 2 coaches, Kyle Julius is doing a wonderful job in London, and Coach here, Coach Leslie's doing an amazing job here, are both Canadian guys, and then you've got the young fella is doing a nice job in Niagara, as well as Coach Serge over there at KW, and it's just fun for us to see guys develop as we develop the game, and it becomes heavier Canadian content. That's a win for everybody.
Mason takes it strong to the rim, and he's fouled by Christie. And that's the motto of this league. It's always been the motto of development, not only for the players but the coaches as well, and as well as the front office staff.
Well, Vince, part of it is that we're on the front end of this thing, and so Canada basketball is only going to get bigger and better and bigger and better, and it's just a matter of time until we look at this, and we've got dozens of Canadian coaches to choose from, and we don't have to worry about whether we have 4 Canadians or 5, because there's going to be so much Canadian talent to choose from that it's going to a rising tide floats all boats. It's going to just get better for us, and so the more we can develop, all of that helps the brand of what we're trying to do here in Canada.
61-56, Canes continue to lead. Cook now trying to back down Cox. Jump shot's no good. Kicked around, and Joey Haywood comes up with the rebound.
For I don't know how old Joey is, but he sure moves pretty quick.
He is a quick player. Mason with a nice jumper on McCullough. Mason continuing his strong play. And Carson comes back the other way, slashes towards the rim.
Speaking of quick,
with the left hand.
That's a pretty fast kid.
Shahi Carson, a very good-looking point guard, as we mentioned several times, as we've had several opportunities to see him up close and personal here at Scotiabank. Mason fires from 3. Ball short, kicked around, and a battle ensued between Anthony Cox and Daquan Cook, and it looks like Cox will pick up his personal here. It's a foul on him, as looked like he pushed Cox in the back, but he is not agreeing with the officials.
I don't think anybody's committed a foul yet here. Everybody's had something to say.
Usually is the case.
Exactly.
On a nightly or afternoon. Carson again, and he is rejected. Return to sender at the rim by Anthony Cox. And racing back the other way and looking for the contact, and drew it was Joey Haywood. And that's Wayne McCullough's foul, and McCullough, he's not happy. Disagreeing again with the official when it comes to he committed the foul or not. Well, a quick question outside of the game. You must get several questions from players pertaining to the officiating. How has, in your assessment, because there's been some tweaking and some arrangements where officials are now being evaluated on a game-to-game performance.
So one of the things we've done, we've got a rookie ref out here today. I was just meeting with a young lady that used to work the scorer's table here. That's another one of our rookie refs.
Richter gets it to go.
We're trying to get, I think we have between 10 and 12 new referees in the East, and about 20 new referees in the Central Division. By growing that pool, it gives us a chance to really have the very best get analyzed and go forward. So it's only a matter of time until probably late February. Our owners, our coaches, our general managers will get together and we'll determine who's doing the best of that group. And that best will go forward, and they'll get more games. And
playoff games, playoff appointments.
Eventually they'll get end of the season and playoffs when they really, really count. So we're trying to hold them accountable that way, but that's also, we've got you got to put them with great veterans. I mean, a guy like John Hunt does a really nice job here out of Halifax. And when you put him with groups like that, it sure helps our refs get comfortable.
Carson able to find space inside. It's knocked away now. Shot clock's dwindling. Richter's got to go. McCullough fires from 3. Shot is short. Rebound by Cook. Put back is there, so second chance opportunity for the Island Storm. Forces Coach Leslie into a timeout just before the media timeout and cuts the lead to 5. As you can see, the replay shot it was short there, but great positioning by Cook as he was able to power it through, and he was looking for the contact as well.
No, this replay stuff you guys are doing is great. You know, the camera, the footage, all the things you guys are creating is really nice.
Yeah, they do an outstanding job here on the Silver
It's quite
Vision.
improved even. It's even better than last year. I'm really pleased with what you guys are doing.
Outstanding job once again by the Silver Vision inside Scotiabank Center, providing all the pictures that you see at home and around the world. Here live, Hurricanes basketball on their YouTube channel at the Scotiabank Center. Vince Williams and the commissioner, David Magley. A conversation with the commissioner real quick about the state of the game of the National Basketball League of Canada. So in closing, Commissioner, what would be the message to the fans out there that have never had an opportunity to watch our game here and maybe think about it and maybe on the fence around the league at all 10 markets? What would you say to them?
Well, I think we've gotten better every year in talent. Our coaches have gotten better. Our owners have gotten better. Our fans are more knowledgeable than they were in year one. They know what they're looking at. They know what they're looking for. And I just think we're on the front of something really big.
Right.
We added 2 new teams this year. The goal is to keep everybody we have and grow anywhere from 2 to 6 more teams next year. And you look at the footprint of this country. Once we start west and we fill in between, there's no reason we can't have 25, 26 teams in this league in the next 3 to 5 years. It's that close to exploding, which gives us something to go after TSN, Sportsnet, to get a national TV deal.
Right.
It gives us something to sell sponsorship-wise, which is a lot easier than when you're coming off something of a couple of years ago. All that's in the past, and it's just all good going forward.
Well, I'd like to thank you, Commissioner, for coming on. It's always a pleasure seeing you courtside.
You do a great job. I wish you hadn't eaten all the sandwiches at halftime.
I only had one.
Okay. Thank you, buddy.
That's
looking
the one
good.
and only.
You're rocking that purple shirt, looking sharp, buddy.
The
Thank
Commissioner of the National Basketball League of Canada, David Magley. And coming out of the timeout now, the Hurricanes with possession. Still a 5-point lead. Trying to beat the shot clock is Clint Scales. As Clint Scales coming back for the first time in this third quarter for the Canes. As Richter battles his way towards the rim. And it looks like there is a foul call, reaching call by Mike Poole, but Richter thought he was in the act of shooting. And he was in the act of shooting. So he'll go to the line to shoot too. Richter trying to bring this lead a little bit closer, and joining me back into the booth is my partner, Matt Elliott. Quick conversation there with the state of the game with the commissioner, David Magley. And in year number 6, this league is in good hands, based on the report card from the commish.
I'd say it's hard to disagree with him with the quality of basketball that we've been getting so far this season. Much thanks to the commish for keeping my seat warm.
As Richter was able to get 1 of 2 here. So it's a 4-point game, 66-62. Hurricanes leading thus far, and it hasn't been a lead change. Multiple ties in the first 24 minutes, but the Storm haven't been able to cross that threshold. Carson shot short, rebound by Poole. As Poole, Watson, White, and CJ, along with Clint Scales, come back into this as the reserves started that third quarter. Had a little bit of a fight back from the starters from the Storm, forcing Coach Mike Leslie into a timeout and forcing back the starters to be injected back into this game.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. Part of being a good manager is making sure you don't overmanage those minutes of guys, especially your reserves. Sometimes you just got to get the starters back in, stop the bleeding, and get back up to where you were.
So CJ misses the first. He converts on the second. Washington on the afternoon. 4 for 8 from the field, 9 points. And he's 1 for 2 from the charity stripe. Cook now trying to beat Watson on the baseline. Pocket pass inside the Richter, and he's called for too many steps. Richter wanted the contact on CJ, not coming. Now the Canes race back the other way. Cross-court pass there. Dangerous pass, a nice hesitation outside the Billy for the three. Shot's no good. Clinkscale's able to break down his defender with the tricky dribble. Was unable to convert as White unable to knock down that jumper.
Carson took a gamble there too, leaping at that ball, hoping for the steal. It failed, but luckily it didn't backfire on him.
Yeah, absolutely. Dodging a bullet there, and the Hurricanes have some pretty nice ball movement in that first 24 minutes and hoping to continue it here in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Carson, shot short, gets his second chance opportunity. He doesn't make any mistake on it. So Carson continuing to be very aggressive. He's got 20 points on the afternoon, 6 for 11 from the field, and 8 for 9 from the charity stripe. A very nice offensive game by Jahi Carson.
Yep.
He's been doing it all season long.
Those 8 points from the charity stripe are huge. You get a guy like him that's a good free throw shooter and that's gonna draw contact. He's gonna get a lot of points.
And the floater in the lane by JYD on the other end, but racing back and not settling as Clint Scales is barking out instructions of trying to motivate his guys to get back on defense. As you can see in that replay, Carson with that putback, man, they didn't waste any time of racing back the other way after giving up that bucket by the JYD on the baseline. They immediately pushed the ball back the other way as Al Richter was able to draw the contact and see if he can convert both of these free throws as he's 1 of 2.
Oof.
And a lot of contact at the rim between Billy and Brad States. As Billy is last touched by Billy, and Billy's not too happy with Ryan Lutz there.
I can't blame him. He took a pretty big shove.
And I'm not sure what this stoppage of play is here.
Looks like it's a
It's the
clock
clock.
discussion. They're saying they got to put it up to 5:02.
Got to put back some time on the game clock, as it will remains Island Storm possession. Carson with the inbound to Richter. State swings it to McCullough. Inside, Cook trying to back down Watson. And the battle ensues between Watson.
Yeah, I agree with
and
Watson
Cook.
on that one.
Man, Watson, night in, night out. This guy draws the big power forward of the opposition. And tonight, this afternoon is no different.
Yeah.
As DeJuan Cook is 6'9" from St. Bonaventure University, and he's got to be about 250.
Oh, he's a big boy.
And Billy standing his ground as Jahi Carson runs over Billy, and then a crowd gathers between Billy and Carson, and they laugh it off, and that's good to see, the sportsmanship between those two. But Billy did a good job of standing his ground, and he took one for the team as Carson barreled straight in the middle of his chest.
Yeah, he got up calm, so he had a few words, but nothing major, and that's what you want to see. You don't want to start getting chippy.
69-65, Hurricanes lead. Clint Scales thought about it. Carson with the good closeout. Carson trying to eat up the space of Clint Scales. Clint Scales, tricky dribble. CJ beating States to the spot, and it looks like State's going to be called for the reach-in.
Will they give him the continuation?
And
looks like it,
CJ will go to the line to shoot too.
And that's what Halifax has to do a lot more of this half, is get to that free throw line.
Storm very aggressive, getting to the charity stripe in the first 24 minutes. 19 times they were able to get to that charity stripe, 16 for 19.
Compared to Halifax's 6 in the first half.
CJ now trying to convert. And he makes the
2-2.
second. So CJ has 11 on the afternoon. He's 3 for 4 from the charity stripe, 4 for 8 from the field, and coming back for the Storm is number 10, Al Stewart.
McCall will take a breather.
States swings it to Stewart now, looking inside for Cook. Cook trying to back down CJ inside the paint, and he gets the right hand to go. Cook, a natural left-hander, was able to beat CJ to the spot and finish at the rim.
Good first step for a big guy, too.
71-67 now. White Swings it to Klink.
Kick out.
Klink, hesitation. Inside, draws the double team. Silky smooth pulls. Jumper's no good. In and out.
There's
Watson with the
JYD.
rebound. And Watson with the putback. Draws the contact, and he'll go to the line to shoot two.
I don't think States can handle Watson underneath, to be quite honest with you.
He is just a menace underneath there. There's a few adjectives that you can use, but he is so tough. He is a tough customer for any defender trying to block out Tyrone Watson, because you know you're going to get 110% commitment banging the boards offensively from Watson.
Every game, every minute.
Watson knocks down the first as States goes to the bench, and Ryan Christie checks back in for the Storm.
He's just a hard-nosed basketball player that every team needs. You don't see a whole lot of them in the NBA now. You remember the guys like your Charles Oakleys, your David Wests.
And Antoine Mason's
Anthony
father,
Mason,
Anthony
yeah.
Mason, was a beast inside.
Yeah. The
So
Davises of the Pacers.
Exactly. There's been a few of them. Rick Mahorns,
Yeah.
Bill Lane Bear, as Cook's able to get it to go. He's starting to heat up now. Daquan Cook, the good offensive game. He's got 13 on the afternoon. 73-69 now. Kunscales thought about it. Inside to Billy. Billy trying to back down Cook. Spin move, draws the
two.
double team. Billy fights through that double team, draws the contact on Christie, and Billy will go to the line to shoot two. So both teams continue to trade body blows underneath that painted area, looking to get their big man involved.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that Coach Leslie didn't see the same things we were seeing there at the end of the first half. He's obviously imploring his guys to do a little bit more underneath and get to that free throw line, because they've been to the line a ton more. They've already shot more free throws so far this half than they did the whole first half altogether.
Well, he's definitely been listening to your analysis, because they've been being very aggressive of trying to make an assertive effort to get to that free throw line and draw the contact, knowing that the Island Storm are working on a shortened bench. 4 starters in all, not available this afternoon for the Island Storm. Thomas, Baines, A.J. Stewart, along with Nick Okori, not available this afternoon, as the Storm are in tough but are keeping this one close. 75-69. Watson. Kunscales thought about the three. Good close out by Carson. Carson closing the gap on Klink. Backdoor pass, no look.
Oh,
Poole can't
great
convert,
finish.
but the put back there by CJ. And Washington starting to heat up, averaging 16 points a game per season. The leader, the high man for points per game for the Canes. And he's called for the personal. Looks like he had the reach-in call on Carson. So CJ's third, team 6, as Wayne McCullough checks back for the Storm. As Daquan Cook will go to the bench and get a breather. Salerno doing a good job this afternoon. Game management, nice shortened bench. Billy with the turnover. Billy in, showtime. Two-handed finish at the rim. Billy, outstanding defense, getting his hands in the passing lane and able to convert in the open floor.
Good job of Mike Poole coming down on defense to change up that inbounds, even slightly.
McCullough, spin move on
Again.
CJ. And he draws the contact, and he'll go to the line to shoot two. Wayne McCullough continuing to be very aggressive offensively.
Yeah, he's not shying away from anything today.
Very good game thus far for the Storm. McCullough knocks down the first. And he misses the second. Last touch by the Storm, and it'll be Canes' possession. 79-70s, 9-point game. Canes leading. Washington thought about it inside the Watson. Nice dribble handoff there to Billy. but Billy was able to draw the contact, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2 again.
Back to the line.
So whatever Mike Leslie had to say in that halftime break about trying to be aggressive and attacking the rim has definitely been translated over to this third quarter, because they are continuing to send the parade to the free throw line.
And it's working. They're back up to a double-digit lead.
Billy able to convert both there. Billy's got 8 on the afternoon. He's perfect from the charity stripe. 2 for 3 from the field. And looks like there's a reach-in call. And a holding call, and it'll be 2 shots because both teams are in the penalty now, and Christie will go to the line, and it looks like it's called on Mike Poole. Or if not, Billy coming from afar, and it's actually on Mike Poole. It's his third. As I mentioned, both teams are in the penalty and will shoot free throws the rest of the way with 1:38 left. Christie knocks down the first.
Yeah, it's been an aggressive quarter.
Christie converts both of them. 72-81, Canes lead. Clint Scales bangs down the triple. So finally, Clint Scales drawing the space with great ball movement. Good ball fake there, and was able to knock down the jumper, and that's his second on the afternoon. McCullough fires. Shot is short, rattles around. Carson with the putback. Can't get the second shot to go as Poole was able to disrupt it. CJ inside, barrels his way and powers it up. So great ball movement between Clint Scales and Poole, unselfish basketball. And CJ converts on the other end, 86-72 now. Strong closeout to this quarter.
It was a really nice take by Stewart.
Stewart able to knife in, break down the defense, and he hits it off the window. So it's a 12-point lead now for the Canes. Tricky dribble behind the back, inside the Billy. Poole looked like he wanted to fire from distance.
I think he did.
So the Clink hesitation, pull up, Poole, Silky, can't get it to go. And CJ fighting, continue the battle underneath between him and McCullough. McCullough ends up into the front row. Richter comes back the other way, fires a 3, no good. Clint Scales with the rebound. He's got to go as the game shot clock is off. Clint Scales with numbers. Billy inside, Billy, no shot, good, no good. It actually comes back the other way. So the pace quickening here at the end of this quarter. Carson finishes at the buzzer.
Man, that was a quick pace last
So
couple
mad
seconds.
finish in the last minute between these two teams. Not converting on multiple chances were the Canes able to stretch that 12-point lead to, unable to stretch it to 12-point lead to 16 possibly. Is the Storm able to convert at the buzzer, cuts it to 10. So the Storm showing their resolve in that third quarter as things started to look like they were getting away from them once again at the end of the third match.
Yeah, they're hanging in. They're doing a real good job. And like you said, Coach Solano's doing a great job of managing those minutes of his guys. He's keeping a constant flow of his dudes in so that nobody gets overwhelmed with minutes or tired. And that's paying off for him. As like you say, it's a 10-point lead, but at this point, you would think that it probably would have been larger. So the Island Storm is still well within this one.
Hanging around is the Storm, still within striking distance.
Just update there.
Out-of-town scoreboard.
The other out-of-town scores finally fired up here. Looking at the London Lightning are leading the River Lions 42-35. The Cape Breton Highlanders are up 47-34 over the Windsor Express. And as of yet, no score for that Orangeville Kitchener-Waterloo game.
A full day of basketball on the NBL Canada YouTube networks across the league in the Atlantic as well as the Central Division, as the battles ensues as they usually do on Sunday afternoons around this league.
Yeah, Sunday afternoons, great day for basketball. Halifax got a great crowd out tonight. They had a really good crowd out yesterday, which you never know. Sometimes Saturday nights can be hit or miss, especially in a party town like Halifax. But I had a great crowd out last night, a good crowd out tonight, and I think the word's starting to spread around Halifax that this is good quality basketball. You've got a team that's 10-1 right now, and it's also a lot of family fun. As you can see, tons of kids are out to each game now.
So fans, if you want to engage, or you want to pick up tickets, or you want to stop by to any of the 10 teams around this league, please get involved, get engaged, and follow everything of your favorite teams. The Hurricanes, their social media handles, their website, halifaxhurricanes.ca, Twitter and Instagram at HFX Hurricanes, Facebook at Halifax Hurricanes, and follow everything you need on news, tips, transactions, post-game recaps. You can find them all on the NBLC handles at their website at nblcanada.ca, their Twitter at NBL Canada, and their Facebook at NBL Canada. Everything NBL Canada, find them on those Twitter handles and social media. Stewart now coming out of the timeout. The quarter change over as Stewart's being aggressive, draws the contact, and he'll go to the line to shoot two.
Called on Poole.
Poole call for the personal. Storm continuing to hang around. Poole's fourth, team's first. Stewart knocks down the first. Al Stewart coming into this game. Misses the second. Stewart on the season just averaging over 8 points a game, shooting 65% from the free throw line. Unable to convert both. 9-point lead now.
Stewart's been around the league for a while. I think he's been around since 2011.
Clint Scales fires for three, he misses. Richter did a good job of blocking out CJ. Stewart again to McCullough. McCullough thought about it, slices in, and a reach-in foul as McCullough gave up that three ball and was able to make his way towards the painted area. Now he'll go to the line to shoot two. And the Storm picking right back up from where they left off in the first 24 minutes, is trying to get to that charity stripe.
That's right.
2 possessions down, we got 2 trips to the charity stripe by the Storm.
Yeah, and they're
in
using
consecutive
tempo to do it.
possessions.
They're at the point now, fourth quarter, so whatever they got left in the tank, I'm sure Coach Salerno is going to have them try to get rid of it all.
McCullough knocks down both. A 75% free throw shooter on the season, averaging 2.9 points per game. His biggest game as a pro thus far this afternoon in points. Outstanding shooting afternoon thus far for Wayne McCullough. As Carson race backs the other way, and it looks like a reach-in call on Clint Scales. So the foul starting to pile up for the Hurricanes.
Clint trying to slow him down there, realizing they weren't going to have the numbers if Carson was going to get through unabated.
Clint Scales is second, team's third. And we're only 2 minutes in this fourth quarter. Stewart, blow by on Watson. Watson did a good job of cutting him off at the rim. And Stewart tried to hit Richter cutting in the painted area, and it looks like a reach call, a push call, on Billy. And Billy's fourth and team's fourth. So we're getting in that area where your key guys are creeping into that foul trouble territory. Lots of time left as Daquan Cook was able to convert. Cook continuing the hot shooting this afternoon, and the lead's cut back to 5.
This Island Storm team, they just refuse to go away.
Continuing to hang around here. CJ inside, Billy finishing at the rim. So good ball movement on this possession.
Yes.
And able to break down that defense. They need a little bit more of that, but coming back the other way, as we've seen multiple times this afternoon, the Island Storm not walking it up, racing back the other way and trying to be aggressive, attacking the rim.
And having success with it, as you can see. I don't know, I'm not a coach, but if I was, I'd be tempted to put Joey Haywood back out on the floor to slow Carson down a bit, basically shadow him.
As the free throw parade continues, as Taquan Cook leaps off the bench looking to check back into the game, but he's got to wait. He must have thought he was at the
Mr.
Rucker.
Zimmerman.
Mr. Zimmerman thought he was probably thinking he was at the Rucker. He could check right into the game. As Carson knocks down the second. Carson, 26 points on the afternoon. And he is 10 for 11 from the charity stripe, making a living from the free throw line.
He's a smart basketball player. He knows he's going to get hit. And he's good enough that he doesn't get hit. He's going to finish.
Zimmerman. Watson, hesitation. Oh, nice move to split the defense. All set up by the beautiful ball fake and determination to get to the rim. But Carson again battling back the other way. Not settling, not walking it up. Is Carson racing back and splits the defense. Another call. You can see in the replay, good move. Ball fake there and finish at the rim, JYD.
And then a good hustle back on the defensive end. I don't know if there's a faster player in this league than Carson.
Carson is quick. Inside, a two-man game knocked away from Cook. And a foul call. And it looks like a reach from behind. And it's on Richter. But the Canes had numbers going back the other way, as it looked like he drew two defenders, and Klink was ready to run.
Oh, yeah.
He was ready to get the ball into the open floor and take advantage of the numbers that they had in transition.
Yeah, so probably.
Nevertheless, it'll be Canes' possession here with a 7-point lead.
I'd say that was an advantageous foul for Richter.
Klink scales, trying to go to work. Klink, jumper, short, rebound by McCullough.
Wow.
Richter able to beat the defense and finish at the rim.
Great look by Stewart.
As CJ just a half a step slow, couldn't reject Richter's shot at the rim there. Good pass by the Storm. Billy's with the facial and the posterized dunk, two-hand dunk. And Coach Salerno wants a timeout. Great possession that last trip down by the Canes. It's Billy coming from the baseline, skying in, and you just look like the ants scattered because it was posterization time.
Yeah, everyone was struggling to get out of the poster. A great job by Tyrone Watson. They're going baseline there. He drew the defense over, and he dished that one over to Billy, who then threw that one down with authority. Watson has excellent vision under the hoop.
92-85. Coach Salerno calling timeout and wants to talk things over and try to break up this momentum. Canes shooting now 47% from the field. Just about even are the two teams from three-point range. 37.5% from three-point range. Canes shooting a lot more from that distance, but it's been the points in the paint and the aggressive nature of the Island Storm that have kept them this close thus far, Matt.
Yeah, 40 to 26. You're looking at the difference between the Canes and the Storm as far as points in the paint go.
And that's a category the Canes usually win by a landslide.
Yeah, almost always. So that's not what they're used to. But you can't be surprised. I say it every time we play them, but Coach Salerno, the man knows what he's doing, and he always finds a way to keep the games close regardless of what he's got to work with.
Joe Salerno, the winningest coach in NBL Canada history. Over 100 wins underneath his belt. We've mentioned several times, including the commissioner. With the quick chat I had with him, as Coach Salerno is savvy, even though he came into this game short 4 starters. He had the mindset, it's the next man up. Yeah. It's their opportunity. And Salerno, being a New England guy from the New England area, had a quick chat with him and a chuckle. He talked about do your job, the motto of the New England Patriots and the legendary coach in the Hall of Fame. First ballot, they're probably going to put him in the Hall of Fame before he even ends his coaching career, and Bill Belichick.
Oh, yeah, and I don't know how you couldn't. But yeah, that discussion you had, we had here with Coach Salerno, was he was in front of the bench. He wasn't fazed at all. brought up.
Just
"Hey,
another
Coach,
day.
You're missing 4 starters. Yeah, just another day. He said, next man up, we'll get it done. And, he's doing a good job with it so far.
Well, they're hanging around 92-85, just under 9 minutes here. Storm basketball. Stewart, McCullough, blow by Billy. McCullough at the rim, and he tried to posterize CJ, but CJ looked like he might have had a rejection at the rim and might have a case for it. We take a look at the replay here. McCullough slashing, and it looked like CJ got him on the right arm.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But you gotta be impressed by the play of Wayne McCullough.
Yep.
Coming into this game, averaging 2 points, just under 3 points per game, and he's got a career high as a pro with the Storm this afternoon, and he's been very aggressive. Started the game 3 for 3 from long distance, but then opened up his game and then started to attack the rim, and has been getting to the free throw line at a furious pace.
Yeah. McCullough, known as a shooter, he's a guy that can attack on the perimeter. But he's, as you said, he's shown with his ball handling and his aggressiveness. He's been driving. He took the baseline there. By no means the tallest guy on the court right now, but he had every intent of throwing that one down against 2 to 3 guys longer than him.
Well, he didn't care who was waiting inside there. CJ happened to be there, and he almost posterized CJ at the rim. McCullough, 6'6", from Colorado Christian University, making his first start this afternoon, but JYD able to get into that painted area and draw the contact, and that's just got to be a demoralizing, feeling for McCullough. You had a positive on the offensive end, but then you got to come back down and guard one of the toughest offensive players in the game.
Yeah, that's tough, and it's a tough for anyone really, aside from the 2 bigs in Christie and Cook. That's a tough draw for any of these Storm players to deal with Watson underneath, because he's just he's such a monster underneath there.
And Watson, good at the line there, and he's got 13 on the afternoon now. Excuse me, 14, as he's perfect from the charity stripe, 5 for 7 for field goal range, and a good defensive play there with 6 rebounds and 8 assists by Tyrone Watson, doing the dirty work once again this afternoon, but he turns it over there, and Carson racing back the other way. Billy trying to deal with Carson's speed, and that might be a good foul, but it looks like it's Billy's 5th. So decision time right now for Coach Leslie as Billy picks up his 5th personal, trying to deal with the speed of Jahi Carson.
I'm not so sure it is a good foul. You got a guy like Carson. If he was a worse free throw shooter, then yeah, you're going to take at least 1 point away from him. But he's 10 of 11 so far, 11 of 12 now.
And that's
he's
Billy's,
going to get those points.
And that's Billy's 5th too.
Exactly.
So you might lose Billy's services.
That's right.
As we go forward.
And he's been huge it was huge in the 3rd quarter, especially getting to the line. So it's a guy you want on the court, especially when the game is close.
Carson continuing the hot shooting. He's got 28 now. 12 for 13 from the charity stripe. Watson trying to back down McCullough. Draws the double team. Ronaldo now checking in, and he draws the contact
Good job getting that
on
contact.
Christie. So Ronaldo will go to the line and shoot 2. Great awareness by Watson as he felt that double team come late, as Cook thought McCullough needed his help, because if he didn't come, Watson was going to try to back him down into the paint.
Yep.
Ronaldo short on the first.
But that's smart basketball. You've got to go. You got to go at those mismatches.
Ronaldo Dixon, 75% 3-throw shooter on the season, knocks down the second. Dixon averaging 11 points per game in the reserve role. Has been a very good defender this season with his outstanding rim protection.
Yeah, he's been excellent.
96-89 as Christie goes back to the bench, and checking in is Bradley States. Stewart off the screen, slashes, shots no good, tipped around. States try to keep it alive, but Zimmerman comes with it, and Watson barrels in the lane and runs into Carson, and Carson is called for the reach, and Watson will go back to the free throw line. So Zimmerman doing a good job of with the stretch pass in transition off of that miss.
Yeah.
Heads up pass to Watson, running the floor, doing all the dirty work as you mentioned throughout this game. A couple times mentioned the nickname you thought up, JYD, and I think it's going to stick.
Which I've stolen.
Been used multiple times by the Toronto Raptors.
And the WWF.
Yes, coming from the original,
That's right.
the WWE now. McCullough slashing, kicks it to Stewart. Stewart draws the double team, tries to beat Ronaldo at the rim. He almost completed it. But numbers now for the Canes coming back the other way. Watson inside, kicks it out to Zimmerman. Cook's lost in space and bang, nails it from beyond the arc is Zimmerman. And Salerno calls timeout. As you can see from that miss and that turnover down the other way defensively, Daquan Cook got lost in space and who he was trying to guard.
Yep.
As he came up initially, thought about double teaming Zimmerman, but when that happened, Zimmerman's initial defender backed up and gave him space, and Zimmerman's gonna knock that shot down 9 times out of 10. We've seen him knock it down a lot this season, and that opportunity there is no different.
You can't give Zimmerman space. He's one of those guys you gotta be up in his face or he's gonna put one on your face.
Taquan Zimmerman in 11 games this season, averaging 12 points per game. And he has been Mr. Reliable when it comes to 3-point percentage this season for the Canes. He's definitely the leader in 3-point shots made for the Hurricanes. And this afternoon, he's been very good once again.
Yeah, and it's like that discussion we had. These Canes don't have that one guy, that one deadly sharpshooter that you know is going to be, a 40 to 50% guy any given night. But if you have to go to one guy to shoot the three for these Canes, I would say Zimmerman would be your man.
Zimmerman 2 for 5 from beyond the arc, 12 points on the afternoon, 5 for 8 from the field. Right at his season average in points per game. JYD, the junkyard dog, Tyrone Watson leading the way with 17 points for the Hurricanes. And Carson, the high man on the afternoon, leads all scorers with 28 points, and in the little big man has 7 rebounds as well. He leads in that category. So Carson
doing it all tonight.
Trying to do it all here and pull this one out of the fire. 101-89 now. Biggest lead on the afternoon for the Hurricanes. Just under 7 minutes left to go in the fourth. Carson once again slash and draws the contact on Mason, and he'll go back to the free throw line.
These will be his 14th and 15th free throws on the night.
As Al Richter checks back into the game, as Wayne McCullough will go to the bench. Carson makes the first. 79 3-pro shooter on the season. Averaging 19 points is Jahi Carson. And he knocks down another one. Carson from Arizona State University, 5'10", but he's been playing like he's 6'6" this afternoon.
He sure has.
Cook now, ball fake on, Cox, a ball fake on Cook, and Cox will go to the line and shoot 2. Cox with some pretty nice shoes this afternoon, Matt.
Yeah.
Bright pink.
He's always got some colorful shoes on.
They definitely have to be in the way of some sort of breast cancer awareness of some sort. Don't know what the backstory is, but they are beautiful shoes.
Yeah, got the matching socks too.
6:23 left in the fourth. 10-point lead as Cox misses the first. Cox coming into this game averaging 6 points a game, 66% free-throw shooter on the season. And he misses the second. So trying to determine where that ball went off of, and
like
not much of a fight from Daquan Cook as Tyrone Watson was able to coerce the official on the baseline and extending this possession.
Yeah.
6:22 left now. Fresh shot clock here. Just got it in. To beat the violation on the baseline was Zimmerman. Mason now, the Zimmerman, thought about throwing it inside, and it looks like for the first time, the Storm are in a 3-2 zone. Ronaldo beats the zone, but he barrels right into Cox. And both men hit the deck along with Anthony Cox. As Cook looked like he's down, but he's back up, but he took a shot to the center of his chest by Ronaldo. So take a look in the replay here.
He was off balance before he even put the shot up by the looks of it.
Great position. He stumbled in the lane there as Daquan Cook was able to get himself in position outside of that restricted area and forced the turnover. And that's turnover number 17 on the afternoon for the Canes, but they force it back the other way. JYD no good at the rim. Ronaldo's rejected at the rim by Cox. Ronaldo stays with it.
Finish.
Third opportunity comes up big as he was able to reverse it on the other side and elude the two defenders in the paint.
And a great job of those Halifax bigs of following up on Watson's miss there.
Carson again with the left. Beautiful finish. Jahi Carson having no fear getting down inside the paint. He's got 32 on the afternoon. Zimmerman rises. Bang! And he connects.
What a stroke.
From distance, Zimmerman's third on the afternoon. 106-91 now. Just under 5 minutes in the fourth. States fires from three. Shot is short, and it's corralled by Zimmerman as Zimmerman puts his hand up to slow the pace down here. Canes in no hurry.
Nor should they be.
Big lead here, 106-91. Zimmerman on Stewart. Bang! And he connects again. Zimmerman with the pull-up. Starting to heat it up now in the fourth quarter as they're starting to take control of this one. And Stewart to the rim and draws the contact, and he'll go to the line to shoot two. We've been waiting for this type of push all afternoon long, and now it's starting to show up.
That's right.
You can see that the Island Storm may be running out of gas here.
Yeah, and that's what it looks like, and it was only a matter of time. At least that's what we figured before the game started. However, they hung in throughout the whole game. So it started a question of, it even looked to a point where Halifax may let them get in front at some point, but like you said, it appears that now they've just run out of gas.
Well, the question will be now is, do they have enough in them? Do they have a run left? This game of basketball is a game of runs. See if the Island Storm have enough in the gas tank to get themselves within striking distance.
They got a tough task.
Mason now backing down Carson, and he's called for the push-off. Mason not happy at all. And he'll go back the other way, and that's turnover number 18 on the afternoon for the Halifax Hurricanes. 108-94, just over 4 minutes to go. Richter, he knocks down the deuce. Long jump shot by Richter, and the Storm continue to fight back here. Ronaldo barrels into States. States looking for the charge call, but Ronaldo with good body control was able to get the left-handed reverse to go. Stewart, hesitation, and the crazy shot off the glass. Looked for the contact, wasn't there.
Yeah, at this point, it looks like they're just trying to get to the line.
You can see in the replay there, State stepped in, didn't get the call. Probably would have gotten that call last year at the U Sport level, but it's a different ball game at the professional level, as the officials will sometimes allow the bigs to play underneath that basket. Cox can't handle the quick pass between him and Zimmerman. Cox once again inside the Watson, and he'll make that 10 times out of 10.
Great finish.
he eats that shot up for breakfast, and he's able to convert again. So Watson, 19 on the afternoon. Having a very good offensive game. Most of the points coming inside that painted area, as he doesn't tend to stray away from that area. Lead back up now, 112-96, and Cox barrels in, and a lot of contact, and both men hitting the deck again. But Richter able to get himself in front of Cox, and he picks up the charging call on Cox, and that'll be his fourth.
This has been a whistle-heavy game, to say the least.
Lots of bodies flying and hitting the deck in this second half, and the parade to the free throw line has been plentiful as Dimitri Harris checks back in for the Island Storm. Harris from St. Mary's University by way of Vancouver. British Columbia misses everything, and he hears it from the Scotiabank faithful. Can't hide, nowhere to run and hide here, as the fans don't show any leniency in regards to Dimitri Harris.
It doesn't matter if you played at SMU or not. You put up an air ball as the away team, you're going to hear it.
You're going to hear it in the opposition's building. As Kenny Otino comes into the game, as Tyrone Watson looks like he's done for the night. A very productive night for Watson.
And yet another whistle.
And now moving screen, and that's called on Ronaldo. And the turnovers starting to pile up once again, but that's the thing that hasn't hurt them, particularly in the second half. It hurt them in their early part of this game in the 24 minutes in the first two quarters, but they've been getting away with the turnovers as the Island Storm have not been able to convert those turnovers into points.
Yeah, that's right. They've got 20. They're past the 20 mark with that last one, but it hasn't come back to bite.
And
nice
Mason knocks down the triple with Richter right in his face. Not much you could do if you're Al Richter closing out all the way, but the shot beat the defense on that one. And Carson,
you wanted the foul
with the floater, had the contact and continuing the hot shooting. 34 on the night. 10 for 19 from the field, 14 for 15 from the free throw, and throwing it down. Big fella, throw it down. Ronaldo with an emphatic two-handed finish at the rim, and that could be the exclamation point in this game. 151 left, 117-98. Canes up big. So multiple changes to the lineups here as Christie checks back in for the Storm, along with McCullough. McCullough, he misses everything.
And he's going to hear
it. And he hears it from the Scotiabank faithful. But you can't hang your head if you're Wayne McCullough. You had a very nice offensive game. If you did anything this afternoon, you definitely convince your coach that you can be counted on.
Definitely. He'll be getting more minutes in the future.
Zimmerman trying his hand, bang, and that's a heat check by Zimmerman. States with the flush at the rim, and that's what he does. Very athletic, small forward is Bradley States,
yeah, and he's had a
from
tough
University
time
of Prince Edward Island by way of Bathurst, New Brunswick. That should be if there's any light at the tunnel, at the end of the tunnel for Bradley States, like you mentioned, had a very tough shooting day this afternoon. But that has to be a positive leading into the next game for him. Give him a little bit more confidence as he goes along in his pro career. Mason now pulling it out. Canes in not any type of hurry here as they got a big lead. Ronaldo, step back jumper's no good. States did a good job of closing out and not allowing Ronaldo to attack the rim. Carson now continuing to be an assassin, and the jumper shot's no good. Carson can't nail down his 36th point as the Canes are just looking to dribble this one out. Otino, Cox with the floater, shot's no good. Rebound by Otino. Otino back the other way, draws the contact, and he's called for the charge. Not sure why Otino went to the rim, but I guess everybody's trying to continue being aggressive. There's no sense letting up. Continue with the game plan, I guess. So difference between, it looks like 7 seconds between the game clock and the shot clock. 120 to 100. The largest lead on the afternoon, finally, for the Hurricanes. 20-point deficit for the Storm. McCullough, and he is rejected at the rim by Ronaldo. Return to sender. Ronaldo not letting up defensively, that's for sure, as McCullough looked like he went in to try to put the facial down on Ronaldo. Ronaldo said, nope, I'll have none of that. So that'll do it here at Scotiabank, closing this one out. The Canes get another one at home and complete the mini 3-game home set at us 2-3, 120 to 102. So, for Matt Elliott, I'm Vince Williams saying so long until next time here at Scotiabank Center for Halifax Hurricane basketball on their Halifax Hurricane YouTube channel. Good afternoon, folks.